Agency owners, we live in a world where we obsess over monthly revenue and chasing bigger profits. And that's fine until you remember that your business is not just a cash machine. It's a long-term asset that can actually be sold for significant amounts of money if you build it the right way. But here's the brutal truth. Only 10% of small businesses like ours ever sell for over $1 million. Why? Because most owners and operators don't treat their business like an asset from day one. They run it as a high-paying job for themselves rather than a systemized, sellable company. When you decide to sell is not the time to try to increase the value of your business. It's already too late by then. So I'm going to give you 5 basic things that you can start implementing right now in your digital marketing agency, or any agency really, to boost your enterprise value and make your business more sellable when the time comes. I'm going to walk you through each one by highlighting what investors or buyers hate seeing and how you can invert that to make your agency more attractive. Number 1, buyers despise risk. If 1 or 2 big clients make up the lion's share of your revenue, say 30% or more, one move and your entire business collapses. Investors do not want to buy a deal that can implode overnight if one key client leaves. Now, this doesn't mean you don't go after large clients. So here's what to do instead. Diversify your client base. You can still go after whale clients, but structure them in a way that spreads out risk. For instance, if you're working with a large brand, break down each office or location into separate contracts so it's not just one massive invoice. I know it feels good getting one big payment every month, but it's actually risky for your business. Make sure no single client accounts for more than 20 to 30% of your overall revenue. If you're above that, start adding more clients or restructure deals so you're not overly reliant on 1 or 2 clients. If you fix this now, it'll pay off massively when you take your agency to market. Number 2, document your processes and systems. If your entire business model lives in your head or it's scattered amongst your team with 0 SOPs, no repeatable frameworks, and no training systems, a buyer looks at this and thinks, I'm going to have to rebuild this whole thing from scratch. That spells time, money, headaches. So they either ask you to discount the agency heavily, or even worse, they just walk away from the deal altogether. So here's what you should do starting today. Start documenting everything. If you or someone on your team is training another person, record it. Use AI or simple SOP templates to break down each step. Build a central library of SOPs for how you deliver services, how you run ads, how you handle client onboarding, everything. Over time, this library becomes a goldmine of processes. Show potential buyers how the business operates smoothly, whether you're there or not. That's the key. A well-oiled agency that can run independent of the owner. In today's world, with AI and automation tools everywhere, there's really no excuse for not having processes well documented in your business. Number 3, clean up your financials and your reporting. Inconsistent or messy financials, disorganized expenses, 0 clarity on profit margins. This is literally a nightmare for buyers or investors. If you can't pull reliable numbers, they'll either lowball your offer or they'll walk away. So go get a proper bookkeeping system. Whether it's QuickBooks, Xero, or a dedicated bookkeeper, there's no reason for sloppy records. This is way too inexpensive. You should be able to pull your P&L, your EBITDA, your sales numbers, and your churn rates literally within minutes, not days, or not weeks, or not have to create a new report to know what those numbers are. Keep them updated weekly or monthly at the latest. And if a buyer asks for your trailing 12 months of financials, you want to be able to respond confidently and not be scrambling to put something together. Financial transparency is non-negotiable. When you're finally ready to exit, neat, consistent financials can significantly boost the valuation of your agency. Number 4 is control your churn and have a retention plan. High churn and no retention strategy tells a buyer that your revenue is risky. They're potentially paying you big money for predictable recurring cash flow. If clients could vanish the moment you stop acquiring them, there's nothing really to buy. So here's what you should do. You should know your industry's average churn rate and aim to be better than that. Build a clear retention process that can be regular checkups with your clients, transparent reporting, strong client onboarding, and delivering tangible results. Remember, it costs 5 to 25 times more to acquire a new client than to keep an existing one. And better retention numbers means that your valuation will increase. Ultimately, that's what they're buying from you. This one is a bonus because a strong retention strategy not only makes you more profitable month over month, it reduces risk for the buyer and makes your business far more valuable. And number 5 is eliminate owner reliance and key person risk. Most agencies revolve around the CEO's personal brand, relationships, and hustle. If you leave, the entire operation could collapse. Investors see way too much risk here. So here's what you need to do starting today. Start delegating critical roles to team leaders and empower them to make decisions. Dan Martell has a great framework. It's called 1-3-1. The team member must clearly state the problem, they must present 3 possible solutions, and make 1 recommendation on which solution is best and why. Every single time they bring something to you, you should be asking them, what is the 1-3-1? Beyond that, establish a mission statement and core values in your business. Most agency owners don't know what the real purpose of core values are. These serve as a decision-making framework so the team can act in alignment with the company's ethos without you hovering over them or them having to come to you on every single decision. They could simply reference the company's core values and make critical decisions that way. And as an owner, you have to shift your mindset. If everything inside the agency depends on you, your valuation will be lower. Buyers either force you to stay on as an employee for long term, or they offer you less for the business because they know when you leave, it's going to be worth less. If you start working on these 5 areas today, not the day before you take your business to market, the more you systemize, diversify, and structure your agency, the more your valuation will increase. Often pretty significantly. Buyers are going to look at your trailing 12-month financials, but they're also going to look at your trailing 12 months operations and the 5 points that we talked about here today. So if you want a high multiple, you have to show them strong numbers and low risk over a sustained period. So stop operating like an amateur. No more excuses. Document your processes, clean up your financials, diversify your revenue, retain your clients, create systems, and remove yourself, the CEO, as the bottleneck between you and a sale. It's the difference between a mediocre exit and maybe a life-changing one. If you handle these 5 basics, you'll build an asset that is worth selling. And trust me, when that time comes, you will thank yourself for laying the groundwork earlier rather than later.